This is the Run 94 with Randy Holcomb and Cam Tatum, uh, coming to you from Dallas and Atlanta, Georgia. Uh, CT, we got a full slate of things we need to go into. Um, we just spent a lot of time talking about high school kids, and some of those kids are kids that people know, and some of them that they don't know. But um, we were talking about getting into some more, um, maybe some more sensitive subjects when it comes to some of these players, man, that people love. On everybody's A block, somehow LeBron makes it. LeBron has been playing really well this year, um, especially at the age of 38. Lord have mercy, he raising all types of hell for a 38-year-old dude. And when I was looking at his numbers early, I think he was at like 25 points a game, and I think it was 7 and 6 or something along those lines, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but he's shooting 40% from three, if I'm not mistaken, and I think his field goal percentage. What is it? What is he doing?
I'd say it might be the highest of his career.
Yeah, low key, right? You know what I mean? And I think the field goal percentage is at what, 50? It was something crazy. I think it was 50 something. You know what I mean? That he's shooting from the field, maybe 54,
Mm-hmm.
55. Man, he's playing out of his mind, man. Give me your thoughts on LeBron so far this year. Um, and then we'll go into that. We'll go into the tournament.
Man, LeBron's playing basically what he's been playing like his whole career. He's been playing phenomenal, especially in year, what is this, 25, 26 or something like that. I've lost count at this point, man. It's been playing basketball since I was in high school. So, like, I'm an old grown man with kids now.
That's a fact.
But just to see him, first of all, man, just give him his flowers for being able to sustain this greatness for so long. I think to most fans, we get bored with it because it's like, man, there's no way that he can just continue to be this great for year in and year out. Um, to be able to lead a team um, to the first in-season championship uh, is nothing to sneeze about for me. One of the things that me and you talked about was that the level of play that these guys were playing at for this in-season tournament, whether it was because of the cash, the cash prize or whatever it may be, you did see a different level of play from these guys during this tournament. And for LeBron to be able to still dominate when guys are giving their best at 25, 26 years old, uh, it's nothing short of amazing. Uh, some of these guys were in diapers and pampers when they was watching him play, and now he's
Hmm.
into the NBA. They've had a chance to watch him. They had a chance to study his game
Right,
year in and year out, and they still can't figure this man out, and he still can
right,
dominate. That part
right,
of it is just amazing to me. So
right. Real
I
talk.
love what LeBron is doing.
I got you. I got you. Now let's get into a little bit of ugly with this whole tournament thing, right? So they win the tournament. They play against Indiana in the championship, New Orleans the game before that. They beat the hell out of New Orleans, man. I was disappointed in Zion, but he's since bounced back. I guess in the last game, he played really well.
Mhm.
Then they play against Indiana, and they beat up on them pretty good. Maybe for not the first time, but one of the few times, I'm gonna advocate for AD, who had 40 and 20 and 5, and somehow did not get the MVP. You know what I'm saying? Give me your thoughts, man.
I mean, I'm with you when you're right, man. Now with you when you're right, man.
Right.
But LeBron had a throughout the whole tournament. LeBron did play great. He played amazing. Without LeBron on that floor, they do not get even to the semifinals. So that is not to be overlooked. But if
Right.
we're not talking about a series, we're talking about one game, and in that
Right.
championship game. Anthony Davis led in points, rebounds, and assists. He had 5 assists. LeBron had 4 that game. Um, I would just know if the shoe was on the other foot, it would have been a no-brainer. I mean, he got it anyway, the MVP.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it would have been for sure. He had 40. He had 40 and 20. What else do you want him to do? And he had 5 assists. He led
Talk about it.
every major category.
Right. Talk about it. Talk
This is
about
not a
it.
series.
Yeah.
We're talking about a single game. I feel
Right.
like Anthony Davis deserved that, man. I feel like he deserved that MVP.
I think if he was given a little bit when he plays well, I think we got to praise him a little bit more so that he'll keep playing well and he'll stop reaching for his shoestrings when he hurts his wrist. You know what I'm saying? So that is
They say every grimace is 3 weeks, man. Every time he
hey man.
3
Boy,
weeks.
I'm telling you. So I mean, while he's scoring the ball at a pretty high clip, you know what I'm saying? I was finna say while he's giving it to us, but pause, you know what I'm saying? Like while he's going
Yeah, we got viewers out there. We got young viewers out there, man. They ain't gonna let us live. They ain't gonna let us live, dog. Not let us live.
I got you. I got you. So while he scored the ball at a pretty high clip, you know what I'm saying? I think we need to give him his praise. You know what I'm saying? I think this LeBron thing, um, although he's great, I think sometimes it takes on a life of its own, and then we start lying to ourselves. You know what I'm saying about what was what and what is really happening. You know what I mean? I think that is something that's happening with Bronny in a real way. It happened in high school. It's happening now with him in college, where we're spending time on. And that's not to say that Bronny isn't a pretty good basketball player, but somebody got to have 4 points in a game, and he is taking up the whole block where SC plays Long Beach State. Long Beach State beats them, uh, and you know the whole thing is about Bronny. You know what I mean? And again, like although he's good, if we being 100, man, he just ain't that good. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not. This is not somebody who was one of the better players in the state of California or that region, but somehow became an All-American and was playing in the All-American game, the McDonald's game, which was absolutely asinine to me. Doesn't mean that the kid doesn't have great feel for the game. Doesn't mean that he has doesn't have a high IQ and athleticism. But at the same time, man, I mean, we can name a zillion guys who are 6'3", 4 that have that kind of feel and athleticism. So, your thoughts?
Again, man, I'm gonna say the same thing, man. I'm with you. That is with everything you just said. It was no disrespect to Bronny in his game and the skill set that he has. I think Bronny is a really, really talented player, but it's still levels to it.
Right.
He's not 6'8", 6'9" like his dad. I would like to say if Bronny James was 6'9", 6'8", you'd be looking at somebody totally different. Him
Right.
being 6'4", kind of just like blending in with everybody who was basically the same. Everybody got trainers now. Everybody got these developers and all that type of stuff. They all kind of look the same to me, especially
Right.
at that height. Now,
Right.
the thing about the blocks and all over the internet and everybody, hyped about the block that he did because it resembles his dad and stuff like that. I mean, I've seen kids doing block shots all the time, man. I mean, probably even more nastier block. I've seen a guy the other day take somebody's shot out the air with 2 hands. And I don't see
Right.
them covering the whole block. I get it.
Right.
It's LeBron's son. But we're
Right.
putting a lot of pressure on that kid. And we're putting an expectation on a kid who may not be able to meet the necessary expectations that we want him to meet. Hell, his dad doesn't meet the expectations that everybody that we as fans want to meet. You know what I'm
How real
saying?
is that? How real is that?
Like LeBron, if LeBron was a lose-lose situation in an in-season tournament, if he would have won, if he wins it, he didn't win it. He wins it, oh, it's just an in-season tournament. It doesn't mean anything. If he loses it, there goes LeBron losing another championship.
Right. Right.
It was a lose-lose. So you can't even do anything to please LeBron and how great he is.
Right.
Now you want to put that same type of pressure on his son, who stature-wise is not even nowhere near built like his dad. I just think that's a lot for that kid right now that's still trying to figure it out. He just had the heart situation, so hopefully he continues to get better from that.
Right.
Being the health being the most important thing. Um,
Right.
but I just kind of feel like that type of pressure, that type of anxiety for a kid who
Mhm.
we know just had a heart situation, that might not be good for him. It might be a lot on him. You know what
Right.
I'm
Agree.
saying?
Agree. Might be, well, let me not say that. But again, like I just think that when it comes to Bronny, um, you can there's he's one of the few kids that I see in college basketball that knows exactly what's going on the basketball court. But I've said this before, like if the NBA game, let's just talk about that league for a second. That league is predicated around a few key things. First, size. You know what I'm saying? Size is important in that league to be able to defend and win championships. When you talk about winning championships, you got to have length. You got to have long arms. You got to have guys that can stretch out and eat up some floor. You know what I'm saying? Like, be able to, go from elbow to sideline and top of the key to half court. They got to be able to eat up, and then you got to be able to secure the ball. You got to be able to rebound the effing ball. You got to be able to jump up there and rebound the ball. That takes length. Um, the other thing is force. How much force can you apply? I don't know that anybody applies more force on the rim than LeBron at any point in his career. I mean, even today, he's constantly at the basket, right? He applies so much force on the rim that generally, he puts other teams in foul trouble. Now, as he's gotten older, he's not playing above the rim, but he's still at the rim. You know what I mean? Um, Bronny for me doesn't do those things. He's a capable shooter, right? And in some situations a pretty good one. But again, I just think that there's other kids out there that deserve the light and shine that he's getting, as opposed to us just trying to create narratives. And it's dope to create these narratives because he is tied to a bloodline of greatness in basketball. But let's not use that to dilute the idea that he is, at least right now, a top kid, one of the top kids in college basketball, with the deserving to play in that league we call the NBA. There's some other leagues that I do think that he can play in, but that league is completely different than when it comes to winning. If it was about, and this isn't a knock on him, but this is just general information. If it was just about making shots, making free throws, and doing all the rest of that kind of, the league would be primarily white. You know what I'm saying? That's just the fact of it. There's plenty of kids in Iowa and Indiana and some other places that have these the ability to shoot the ball and all the rest of that kind of stuff. But the fact remains is that the league is more about athleticism. And if it's about athleticism, well, then genetically, there's some other groups that are, you know what I'm saying, namely African American kids that are, longer, faster, stronger, whatever the case may be. The other thing is that the European players are taught differently than us. They are also something that's highly sought after at that level. But we just can't make everything fit. And when we start just slinging everything up there and just saying, okay, because this kid is that just kind of sullies the idea. Moving forward in this whole college thing, though, from SC, let's go to Arizona, undefeated team in the country. Give me your thoughts on them.
Yeah, Arizona is one of the, I believe, it was nine, eight, seven. No, it might have been like something like seven or eight teams. I believe it was Arizona, Baylor, Houston, Clemson, James Madison. So yeah, it's roughly about 6 or 7 teams. Um, the addition of Caleb Love, I think, is what is one of the main turning points uh, with Arizona. I know me and you talked about it briefly before about how UNC basically, uh, I don't know if they ran him out or he ran away, but um, Arizona has kind of been in a, they've always done good recruiting, but with their recruits, it just hasn't really shown the recruiting to translate to wins or important wins on the basketball floor, especially early on
Mhm.
the season. Now, right now, Arizona is 9-0, I believe. Caleb Love is leading them in scoring. Um,
Mhm.
um, at that point position set, I think he's playing more so the combo guard.
Yep.
Um, and they got other guys on that team who have transferred in. Like I said, the transfer portal has done wonders with certain teams, being able to
Right.
put certain players. It might not be the star player, but it might be a piece. It might be a piece. Caleb was the star. They've had other pieces to the team that they already had. Um,
Mhm.
and they've knocked off some good teams so far. So I know they got They got excuse me, I'm drawing a blank right now. They have I just had it on top of my tongue who they had next. It is Purdue. They have number 3 Purdue up
Hmm.
next.
Hmm.
With Zach Edey. I'm interested to see how their big is going to play and fare against Zach Edey. And I'm also interested to see how Zach Edey is going to play against them as well too. Purdue is currently ranked number 3, and this will be a great test for Arizona and Caleb Love.
Yeah, absolutely. Caleb Love, to your point, Caleb Love has been playing great, man. Um, man, it's really funny when it comes to him after being at North Carolina. I think everybody saw that play out so awful, man. Like that really played out really bad with him transferring and the way it looked and some of the rumors that were coming out of North Carolina as to how he left and all the rest of that kind of jazz, man. And it made him look bad, made that family look bad. You know what I'm saying? It made North Carolina look bad. It made Hubert Davis look bad. All the rest of that kind of, you know what I mean? Like I didn't him going to Arizona for him to go from basically one coast to the other. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, Arizona ain't on the coastline, but it's west, right? And there's only but one other state that you can get before going completely west. He he is really playing well, man. I mean, he's showing some, at least up to this point, he's showing some toughness. You know what I mean? That I didn't with the reports that were coming out of North Carolina, I didn't know if he had. The reports were making him seem soft, selfish, egotistical. The same thing can be said about his family. Reports were that his father was influential in him transferring, and there was some blow ups there with his dad and the coach. You know, if these things aren't true, there were at least rumors. You know what I'm saying? And just a bad look all the way around. For him to play the way that he's playing now, though, and leading that team, number one team in the country, again, it goes back to what a team needs from them. And they have great length, they have great defenders, and they have him as a guy who puts pressure on teams as far as scoring the basketball. He applies a shit ton of pressure on people going to the when they're out there playing. Makes it easy to like him now. It makes it easy to say, oh, okay, well maybe that was just a situation that wasn't the right fit. You know what I mean? Where in years before, if you transferred, it was looked at as like, oh
You're
man,
running.
you running from something, or you must be the problem. You know what I'm saying? One of the two. You know what I mean?
I
So
think the other
again,
thing that
man.
hurt him with that is that he was about to transfer. He transferred to Michigan with Juwan. He had actually made the
Oh,
commitment to Michigan. I don't know if you remember that.
I
He
don't
actually
remember
made
that. I
the
don't
commitment
remember
to
that.
Michigan, and for
Uh
whatever reason, like he was on campus. He was like, I remember he was like there for like 2 weeks or something, and then
huh.
something came up to where I think he couldn't get eligible for Michigan.
Ah, okay,
Then he
okay.
ended up going to Arizona.
Uh huh.
So
Hmm.
it's like okay, now it sounded like okay, he's either a head case. Is he a
Right,
Does he have
right,
academic issues?
right,
Is his
right,
father
right,
the problem? Like you
right,
said,
right, right,
a lot of different
right,
things that were coming out about this kid. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Especially if you go with Jawan and you're not able to make it with Jawan, it kind of makes you because Jawan is
Look
loved.
crazy.
Yeah.
Right, right, right. Make you look a little crazy if you can't make it with Big Nuke. Shout
Yep.
out to Big Nuke, man. But yeah, man, I'm super happy for him. Arizona's undefeated. There's I think 7 other teams that's undefeated out there. That you wanted to shout about. Uh, talk about some of those other undefeateds that are out there.
We want to talk about Jacoby Walter that's over at Baylor.
Hmm.
Jacoby was one of the guys, one of the freshmen that we had that was our top 10 impact freshman of the year. And
Right.
when we talk about impact, we like to talk about impact, not just what you're doing on the floor as far as scoring, but
Hmm.
your scoring impact your team winning? And
Right.
right now, Jacoby is leading their team in scoring, and he has Baylor at 8-0 right now. So it looks like that uh, him as a freshman, as a true freshman, gets it, understands it, doesn't mind being the man. Now, he's probably going to go through his freshman bumps just like every freshman does. But right now, he is having a great start to his freshman year with leading them to being undefeated, especially going into Big 12 conference play coming up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's definitely one. That James Madison piece, you and I were talking about that. Dog, explain to me how this team is scoring 100 points almost all the time. One of the schools that I attended before transferring to San Diego State was Fresno State. Um, they beat the hell out of them. You know what I'm saying? By almost, I think it was almost 40 points, if not 40 points. I mean, they really smashed them. And a couple other teams, they've been doing the same thing, man. They've been trying to bust the clock every time they play against people. Uh, Talk to me about what you think. What you think about the group as a whole. I don't know if you necessarily want to go into individual play, but just talk to me about the group as a whole.
Man, shout out Terrence Edwards, man, Tucker High School alumni.
All right.
Terrence is a guy that played here, Tucker High School, where I currently coach at. Um, Not really a heavily recruited guy, but he's making people pay for it. He's currently averaging 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists per game. So you can probably see that he is one of the engines, or one of the many engines that's making that car go. Then they got another guy named TJ Bickerstaff, who is a transfer from Boston College, who was averaging, I believe, 16 and 8 rebounds. Um, and I think, like I said, like me and you talked about prior to, James Madison has been doing pretty good in recruiting. Not making like the loudest of noises because they're not a Power Five type school, but they'll sneak in and get a few kids. And another kid that I know that's over there by the name of Xavier Brown, who was a really good player in high school, that they got that is going to continue to get better. He's right now at 17 minutes a game, 6 points, 2.3 rebounds a game, shooting, 34% from three. So those are just one of the guys who they have coming off the bench, and he's a nice size guard that I know that can defend, and he plays hard. So they got some pieces over there that they already had in recruiting as well with
Hmm.
that transfer portal, who has been able to bless, certain teams like James Madison with pieces, as I spoke about earlier, it's pieces
Right.
that they're going to need.
Right. Definitely. Um, any other teams you want to talk about that are undefeated?
Oklahoma. Oklahoma is
Oh,
also a team that's undefeated right now. They are 9-0, first in the Big 12.
mm,
Um, they have a transfer in, named Javion McCullum. Right now, he's the one that got the internet going crazy because they're comparing him to Allen Iverson right now.
okay.
Javion is averaging 15 points, 2.9 rebounds, and 3 assists per game. He's shooting 94% from the free throw line, uh,
Goodness. Gracious.
35% from three, and 46 from two.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so, if I'm not mistaken, he transferred from Siena. Um,
Okay. Okay.
uh, so Javian is, forgive me if I'm not saying that name right, but Javian is giving Oklahoma a spark. They also have a guy named Otega Owe,
Hmm.
averaging 15 points and 4 rebounds per game. That's another
Okay.
guard. So they got two guards that, uh, if you want to call it a double head monster, that is coming at you constantly,
Right.
every game. So they
Okay.
got Oklahoma sitting really good right now at 9-0, or excuse me, yes, 9-0 in the Big 12. Uh,
Okay.
Clemson is another team that is undefeated, um, and they're number one in the ACC. Um, they also got a few Georgia kids there, and Ian Shefflin and, oh man, I'm drawing a blank. My apologies. Chase Hunter. Uh,
Okay.
Chase Hunter is averaging 10 right now. Ian is averaging 8.9 and 9 rebounds. But they got PJ Hall, who's averaging 20 and 7. And they got another kid named
Mm,
Joseph Gerard, who's averaging 15 and 3. So
okay.
they got some good balance between scoring and rebounding. They got one kid that's averaging 7.4 rebounds, another kid averaging 9.7, and another kid averaging 5 rebounds. So they got real
Mm,
good distribution and rebounding. And the same thing with points. Points, they got 20, 15, 10, and 8. So at the
mm,
college game, they got really good distribution in points to rebounds. These guys are all shooting 55, 43, 38, 55, 56 from two.
dang.
Um, 40, 44, 32, 62, and 50 from three.
Oh yeah, it's hard to lose that way.
It's hard to lose. Hard to
It's
lose
hard to
when you
lose
keep
like
it like
that.
that, man.
Yeah, man.
So,
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a
Clemson,
fact.
Clemson is playing well, and I know I'm missing a few other schools, but those are the ones that's right now, that I got
Standing
my
up.
eye open. I know me and you talked about. I know you're down in that Texas area, but you got two Texas teams down there that are
Right.
undefeated, in Houston and
Yeah.
Baylor. I don't look at the schedule. If they have to play each other, that's going to be a great game.
It will be. Houston is just business as usual, man. They've been, you know what I mean? They just gonna grind you up, slow it down, beat you up, you know what I'm saying? Make their free throws, guard the pick and roll, defend some more, rebound the ball some more. Like, you know what I mean? They have a system down there under Kelvin Sampson that just works, man. Like, you know, I mean, um, I was recruited by him when he was coaching at Oklahoma, and he scared the absolute hell out of me because of he sent me the entire schedule of the year in a FedEx package of everything I was going to be doing every day. And I was like, yeah, no, let me stay on this West Coast and live in this California sun. I ain't trying to deal with that. But that same mindset though that he has is what he's taken down to Houston, right? Where it's just business. Now, the crazy thing about him is that he gets that group to play hard without necessarily coaching them in a way that they dislike him, right? You know what I mean? And that's hard to do. All of the players that I know, going all the way back to like Aaron McGee, who played for him at Oklahoma, love him. They swear by him. They believe in him. And if you look at his staff, he got Anthony Goldwire over there. Goldie is somebody that I played against. Again, another guy that I know loves him to death, man. So I know that he's doing something right when his former players and stuff and people that they come back. You know what I'm saying? That's an indicator that you're doing something right. They're not leaving you saying, man, F him, man. I ain't, that was just what it was then. I ain't never going back, blah, 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 blah. That's not happening, man. His players are coming back and he reaching back low key and putting them in situations where they can be successful. That's the mark of a coach that knows what he's doing, man, especially at the collegiate level. So shout out to him for that, man.
You got a coach that care about you. The kids will run through a wall for you.
Oh, easily. Easily. You know what I'm saying? Easily. You know what I mean? So again, you and I talk about coaching all the time, and you know what I mean? That's something that we can talk about another time. Maybe the next episode of this we could talk about coaching. But again, for me, I think that he is just something that is that's very unique. The last one is a subject matter that you and I have been privy to some conversations on Clubhouse with. Shout out to 94 Feet on Clubhouse, the platform that you run, that we visit on a daily basis for anywhere from an hour to 8, right? That turned into
24 hours. Man.
Yo, sometimes that room is pumping you know what I'm saying, a cool 23 hours, you know what I'm saying, before somebody, between shout out to Pops, Derek Williams Sr., you know what I'm saying, my man Flat. Shout out to him for being a catalyst along with you and being a good soldier for you to make sure that y'all doing the right thing along with let me give them their flowers right now. Justin Ravenel, who has an old soul, a young fella with an old soul that knows basketball through and through, comes from there. My understanding is that Ravenel name is basketball royalty in that Georgia area. Plenty of folk. His dad is a coach. You know what I mean? He has great feel and understanding of the game. Jamal McKenzie is another one that is part of your group. An incredible sports mind. You know what I mean? Like incredible sports mind. So much so that he and I fell out on the app. But again, the truth is the truth. You know what I'm saying? Every time I hear him speak, from football, basketball, baseball, he speaks from a level of intelligence that's incredible. You know what I mean? And again, like hearing him speak, the intel that he gives, the science behind it. I'm a basketball guy through and through. He knows the science behind a lot of other sports along with basketball. Willie Darden, I'm gonna punch him in his face when I catch him. You know what I'm saying, in traffic. I'm definitely gonna punch him in the face. That's my man. That's my man. No, I love him to death.
Shout out Willie. You took a tiger too. Shout out Willie.
Yeah, and also Skinny. Derek Williams Jr., you know what I'm saying, who again is he know how to set a room on fire. He is controversial, but he knows sport, right? You know what I'm saying? So to you and your group, man, y'all deserve all the kudos. So that's how low key, that's how you and I know one another, by me popping into that space and listening to you speak. But the reason that I bring them up is because we've had conversations about Jordan Poole and him being a player that I thought would going over to Washington, I thought for sure that he would be a 26-point a night scorer over there. And it has not played out like that at all.
I heard
If
30.
I may, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? But I thought he was going to be hell. I have been wrong up to this point. I'm at least 14 points off of what I thought he was going to be. He averaging 16 points a game. Mark Edwards is somebody that comes into our space that trains him, right? And he is another person that I had a blow up with about this because he said that Jordan Poole he and Kyle Kuzma should have been on the USA team. I thought that was asinine, you know what I'm saying, to say the least. And he and I had a blowing up about that. But I love Jordan Poole, or I love him. I loved him in his role at Golden State. I'm trying to figure out what has happened to him since being punched in the face. I think something happened that kind of broke something or sent something off track since that incident that has taken his career, turned him into somebody that I didn't necessarily see, even from his Golden State headshot to the Washington Wizards headshot. We're talking about a completely different looking man, you know what I'm saying, as a basketball player. Give me your thoughts on that.
Man, you brought up something that was really, I probably didn't think about it like that, but now that you said it, my brain is going. And we always talk about us being, being former players, and the things that we went through mentally and stuff like that. We're human, bro. We're human.
That's a fact.
And if somebody punched me in my face, bro, and laid me out, and it's supposed to be my teammate, my brother, who I won a championship with, who we in the locker room that probably we pray before games or we fellowship, before games, after games, outside of this. Maybe they weren't that close, but you have done something, because when you're part of an organization, they try to get you to do those type of things. But before
Right.
preseason, they go out the country, they go places, they do all these different things for you guys to bond in the jail
Right.
and stuff like that. And my
Right.
teammate just hit me like I was a freaking
Stranger.
stranger. Like he
Right.
hit me like I was a stranger because I said something. Like, bro, I'm a teammate. Like you know
Right.
me.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
I ain't like that. And I don't understand why
Right.
my teammate that knows that I'm not like that, why would you just haul off and punch me like that? Like, you can
Right.
get in my face, we can tussle, we can go back and forth, but bro, you tried to end my shit. Like, bro, you could have really
Right.
been in
Right.
coma or something. You could have
Right.
knocked some screws loose, which he might
Right.
have. He might have knocked some screws loose to the point where
Look
he was
like
just
it.
like, man, I ain't never been hit that hard before, man. And
Right. Right.
when you're in the system, you're in a league full of grown men that you are by yourself. There is no
Right.
governing body that is going to protect you and say, hey, don't pick on Jordan Poole. Hey guys, what y'all doing to Jordan Poole is bullying. And you should not be bullying. There is no like anti-bullying in the NBA. It's just that you gotta figure that shit out as a grown man. And right
Right.
now, he probably walking in the league, or somebody in the leagues, or somebody saying something to him slick, like, shut your, so you got your laid out by your own team.
Right. 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 Right.
And social media is a thing.
Right.
All in his comments saying, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you still woke up yet from Draymond Green's punch, or you still laid
Right.
out, or you still
Right.
ain't got this. So that's number one. Number two
Mm-hmm.
is that there's no anti-bullying. I got laid out. I see the comments, and I get shifted. I gotta leave.
Right.
Y'all, what Ice Cube say on Friday? We the victims, man. We the victims.
Right. 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 Right.
I'm the
Right.
victim. How do I get punched in the face and I get sent to hell? How you send me to Washington for a nigga punching me in the face? Hey, bro, my mental might be messed up too.
Right. Right.
My mental might be messed up too. Because why? I'm human, bro.
Right.
I'm already not built like that. Also, I don't understand
Right.
why you punched me in the first place.
Right.
I'm
Right.
not built
Right.
like
Right.
that.
Right. 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 Real
And now
talk.
you
Real
punched
talk.
me, and nobody here to protect me.
Right.
They
Right.
didn't protect me. You know what they did? They kicked my ass out of here.
Right. Right. Real talk. Real talk. Real
And
talk.
now this same dude is putting folks in headlocks and stuff like that, and and y'all praising it. I'm a, and he
Oh
can't. And if
man.
we square, and if I had to put him one on one with me, I would eat him up alive.
Right, right, right. Real talk. Real talk. Real talk.
The better basketball player is
Hmm.
Jordan Poole. The better
Right,
defender, the better team guy. Yeah,
right,
okay.
right, 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 right,
But I'm talking about the better basketball player,
right, 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 right.
Jordan Poole. And I got
Man.
shifted out for getting my shit rocked. Excuse me, sorry for cussing.
Man, no, dog, I'm with you. I mean, like when you look at that situation, the next thing we know, Jordan, we got shorts of Jordan Poole in a boxing gym hitting a heavy bag. Dog, you are 160 pounds soaking wet, 170 pounds soaking wet, boss. You ain't finna knock nobody out. That ain't finna help you. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't it. But I think the way it played out so publicly, because there's been 1,000 fights in locker rooms, right? And they're usually fights. It's not somebody getting socked and then it's just kind of over. Usually this happens between two people who feel like they can get after one another. And that's okay, right? That's all right. You know what I mean? When that's the situation. But whatever he said, um, has changed the course of his career. You can't get me to believe anything differently. And his attitude on the basketball court, instead of somebody that looks like he's trying to find himself some sort of way or trying to, he don't, I don't know. I don't want to say he don't care, but it just looks like, in fact, I knows he cares. Because if you say that you don't care, you care, right? If you don't say that I don't care about something off nothing, right? You know what I'm saying? You just don't even see it. You know what I mean? Like, but so for him to say, "Yeah, I don't care," I don't believe that. But I do think that between teams gearing to stop him, the way people perceive him now, because your peers, this is what people outside of that league, for the cup of coffee that I had in and around that league, people view you a certain way. You get slotted, right? You know what I mean, in a real way. It's like being in a corporation, and the guys at the top are the elite guys, and then there's a group of guys right beneath them that are really, really, really good, but they don't have the persona of the people at the top. They might not be as sellable as the people at the very top for whatever reason. Then you got the C-level guys that are, whatever guys. And then you got those D guys, and I was probably one of those D guys, right? You know what I mean, for the short stint that I had in and around that league. But bottom line is that the for him, he probably started as one of those C guys, was on his way to one of the A guys, or at least a B guy. Let me not say an A guy. He was on his way to being a B guy, right?
Mhm.
He gets punched in the face, and then everybody starts to come back, and then the way, and if I'm gonna be quite honest, I expected more out of maybe Steph stepping up, but it seems like everything is very diplomatic with him, and he don't want no problems, kind of thing. And all right, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
I was
But
disappointed. I was disappointed in that.
yeah, so again, man, it's just one of those things that kind of um just turns me the wrong way when it comes to